Hello, this is Heather from Always Love Gifts and Cards. This is my very first YouTube video and I wanted to wait until I received the stamping platform from Holtz and Tonic Studios. I saw this back in January and decided that this was probably the one that I wanted, but because it wasn't released straight away, I was quite happy to have the time to be able to research it. I have been tempted to get one of these stamping platforms before, but I didn't go for them because the Misty was the most likely one that I would have got before, but I thought that it was quite overpriced considering the other ones that were out that were a fraction of the price. So I'm not made out of money, so I'm not going to buy something because it's the market leader, and I'm not going to buy something that's double the price of everything else unless I really think it's worth it. But in my opinion, the Misty really wasn't actually worth it for me. So there, like I said, there's lots of different ones on the market at the moment. There's the Misty and the Hampton Arts, which are basically the same thing. And then you've got Marianne Designs, there's a Rare Earth one, and there is a We Are Memory Keepers one. There's probably a couple more, but those are the ones that I'm aware of. So this is the box that this one comes in, and I'll show you around the actual stamping platform and why I bought this one instead. First thing was, this one did not look flimsy at all. There are some of them that look a little bit flimsy. Now with this one, I saw Holtz demonstrating this in one of his YouTube videos, and it just looked so sturdy and strong, this top section especially, compared to some other ones that looked like the kind of plastic that you get for CD cases, like that kind of plastic. Another reason why I went for this one instead was because of the it's open on two edges here, so I can use any size receiving medium for my stamping that I want to. I can do a banner as long as I can do anything from a 6-foot banner to a 2 centimeter sentiment. You know, it's just, it gives me whatever options I want. The other thing about this one is that you don't have to take anything away from it to be able to change which type of stamps you're using. So it's got these little bits here. Now that would sit like that if I was using a clear stamp. So if I can read it properly, that's what I should be stamping. So clear stamp that side, you take it out, you flip it over, rubber stamp that side. 95% of my stamps are clear, so I imagine it'll spend most of its time on the clear side. See, here it says clear, but over there it's backwards, so you can't read it properly, so that's not what we're stamping. It's got also the supports here, so that would be this side. It's got support here, which means that I've got a fully supported stamping area on the base when I push this down, because obviously this is a lip here where the measurement section is. This is where you butt your piece into, and this is there's a recess here, so they've got corresponding sort of feet, as you would say there, so that when you press down, it's not flopping about, it's not bending, it's not warping, it's completely flat. It is a flat surface. So let's have a look at it. I haven't tried any rubber stamps on it at all yet, because like I said, 95% of my stamps are clear ones anyway, but I will show you in a minute. So we're just going to try I've got this, My Favourite Things one set, the unicorn set. And the main reason why I wanted a stamping platform is when I stamp, I usually end up messing it up, because you've got to get it perfect first time, really, because if you don't, you're going to end up giving yourself a shadow stamp, which I always do because I can never line it up properly because I'm hopeless. So, and especially with sentiments as well, sometimes I like to stamp my sentiment straight onto the cards, and I do that on the inside of all of my cards. I stamp a sentiment onto the inside of my card, but sometimes I don't stamp it properly, and then I've got to scrap the card or I've got to change it because I haven't stamped the sentiment properly. See, and I love a crisp black sentiment. Now this has stamped well, but there wasn't enough ink. It's not a nice crisp black stamping. So I'm just gonna re-ink this. And for me, this is just going to save me so much time and money. Because I make my cards to sell, I don't have to scrap anything anymore. See, and just a double stamping, that's perfect now. And I haven't messed up by doing it wonky, as I usually end up doing. So that's that's one sort of feature, the reason why people buy them. Another reason is because so that obviously that shows you what it does for repeat stamping as well. So if you were doing a batch of cards and you wanted the same sentiment or the same series of stamps, and you wanted it in the same position on each card, you just line it up on your first card, put the lid over, pick it up, and you just ink it up and stamp onto each card. Make sure your card is in the same position each time. And you can just go ahead and you can do, you know, 10, 15, 100 cards. There really is just no limit. So this is another thing that I really struggle with, is these stamps that you're supposed to line up. The multiple layer ones, and I just find it impossible. I'm just doing a quick stamping just to show you how it works, because I haven't primed these ones yet, so the distress inks are not going fantastic on them. But with this, it means, so if you were doing multiple stamping of a layered stamp, I would do all of the cards that you want with the first layer first, and then go through and do all of the cards with the second layer, and then all of the cards with the third layer, so on and so forth, until you've created the whole thing. So because obviously this stamp is clean, it can go on the top here, and I can line it up. So line that up, pick it up, and get another colour. See, because when I find that when I'm looking through an acrylic block to do the stamping, you don't see it quite right, and it is a little bit difficult to actually line it up. But once you've stamped it down, and you've either got it right or you've got it wrong. And one of the things I love about old to new layered stamps is a lot of the time it really doesn't matter if you get it a few millimeters out. It is okay. Their designs are very forgiving. Like with this one, this is very forgiving as well. I mean, it really wouldn't matter if I had this, you know, probably up to about ½ centimetre out. It probably wouldn't matter. It's very forgiving design. But I'm a perfectionist, and if I've got it wrong, 9 times out of 10, I will end up scrapping that card. Just because I know it's wrong, and in good conscience, I can't sell it if it's wrong. I just wouldn't feel right about that. Can't ask someone to part with their hard-earned cash with something that's not perfect. They wouldn't get a misstamped card from the shops, would they? So why would I sell them one? So this is the... See, it just makes doing the layered stamps, especially if you're doing... I mean, with this set, there's two jellyfish on here. So if I was doing both of them, I mean, that would be a lot of stamping if I was doing, say, 10 cards with those 2 jellyfish on there. But if you're doing it with Stampin' Platform, or any stamping tool for that matter, I mean, all of these tricks would work for any stamping tool. Does that look about lined up? See, and this is the thing. I mean, I can move this around and get it perfect, and I can always test this out on a scrap piece of paper first to make sure that I've got it in the right position. I can have one test piece and then my 10 cards, for example. I don't have to test this on my card. As long as I've got the same position on my test piece as I will have on my actual card, then this is going to work. And this is what I love about it. Another thing that I always do is, especially when I'm doing a lot of stamping, I got ill a few years ago and I lost a lot of feeling in the right hand side of my body, and I see, I didn't line it up properly, but that's my fault, not the Stampin' Platform. That's just because I didn't get my head right over and have a look at it properly. I lost a lot of feeling in the right hand side of my body, and if I'm doing a lot of stamping, my right hand, which is my dominant hand, gets really tired, and I will drop the acrylic block and my stamping will be ruined. I've done it many times, and yes, I have scrapped many projects because of it. So that's another reason, another way to use it. And I'm just going to show you the rubber stamps as well. So I've got this really cute Stampin' Bella set. And from what I understand, so this is a, usually you find these in like a sort of terracotta orange colour, or grey sometimes as well. I think Stampin' Bella just do them in blue because that's their colour. So with these, you've got a piece of foam on the back. This is a mounted rubber stamp. So you've got that. I don't think it's focusing very well, but you can probably see it. So that is a mounted rubber stamp. So you saw I just took this out. You just flip it over and then slot it back in, because it's got an oval hinge here. So when you put it in on the narrow end of the oval, it slots in, and then obviously as you're bending it, it's on the wide end of the wide section of the oval. So that's how the hinge works, from what I can see. So pick up my, see, and it's nice and sturdy because it's got those feet on these 2 extra sides. It just keeps everything nice and flat and not flopping about and not warping. So we'll try this rubber stamp now. This one's so cute. Look at that. Oh, it's so cute. I haven't used this one yet, but I need to do a bunch of Easter cards, so I'm going to get that started soon. Well, I need to get it started today, really. Which is why the stamping platform is going to come in so handy. And that is just beautiful. A nice, crisp, clean stamping from our rubber stamp there. That's just lovely. And the whole time these magnets have kept in pretty tight. I mean, if at any point it had like if I did a new stamp that I haven't used, they stick. I don't think I've used this one. Doesn't look inked up, so I'm gonna pop that out, turn it around, slot it back in, pick up my stamp. Yeah, it's a little bit sticky. So if I put that down there actually, because that might pick the paper up a little bit. Yeah, see? So I'm going to make sure that that's slotted right down into the corner. I'm going to ink this up. And it might stick. Just if I press that down. See, so it's lifted this section up. So all you want to do is you just want to make sure that you put it back right into the corner. Because even if it's moved 1 millimeter, you're going to end up with a shadow stamp, which is exactly the same problem as what we have when we're trying to do a double stamping using an acrylic block. So that's not stamped very well. So we can ink this up again. We've made sure it's right in the corner again. That's why we've got these two receiving edges, because it means that we can butt something right up into the corner, and it gives us a perfect point of reference for repeat stamping. I think my archival ink pad is dying. See, I didn't check. There we go. So I've got nice, clean, crisp stamping now, and they are the main sort of selling points for the stamping platform. Another thing that we've been shown by Tim Holtz is putting a stamp on, and because you can do the repeat stamping, you can do multiple colours. So if I just show you quickly with this one, if I just wipe that off, grab a baby wipe. Any baby wipes will do. My husband just gets the Huggies ones from work. He works at wholesalers, so he gets the Huggies ones. But any baby wipes will do. And it's perfect for wiping down the platform as well. There we go. Nice and clean. So if I were to put that on there, and I wanted to do... So if that was a complete stamp and I wasn't going to bother doing all of the layers, we're looking at... So if I did that, and then if I take off some of that colour, say I just wanted the top section to be the colour. So you've got a little bit of the colour throughout here. So if I go over, see, this means that we can mix and match. You can do it with pens, you can do it with watercolours, anything that you can put onto that stamp. If you wanted to do more than one colour, then you can do it, because you're going to have the exact same position for your stamp every single time. You can do whatever effect you want. So you can use pens on there, you can use ink pads, you can use paints, whatever you can put onto that stamp and get a result from, that's what you can use. That is what I love about these stamping platforms, because I love the whole invention. It means that also for people who have problems with their hands. I mean, I've only got a tiny problem with my hands. I know there's a lot of people out there who have lost the ability to do their stamping because they have, you know, real issues with their hands. It means that they can stamp again. It means that people who couldn't stamp before and have never stamped might try it, because you can get a piece of equipment like this for a relatively small amount of money. I mean, I paid £26 for this, I believe, because I had a 20% off voucher for when it was released on Hochanda, because I got this through Hochanda, because I had a feeling that Tonic were going to be releasing this early, because it was on pre-order for a lot of places for the 17th of April, but I had a feeling that they were going to release this early on Create and Craft, because they were with Create and Craft then. They only went over to Hochanda this week and they've launched tons of new stuff. This came out last Thursday and it arrived on Monday, because I paid for the quicker shipping. So I paid I think it's about £26 for this, but I believe because it was marketed at $32.99, I believe, but if you pre-order with one of the other companies, I believe you're paying £26.99, but you'll just have to check on the websites, and it depends on what offers they've got on, but the regular price is £32.99 as far as I'm aware. But yeah, I mean, you can get this or any other one like this. There are some cheaper ones. There are some a couple of them that are cheaper. There are also a couple that are hugely more expensive. Sorry, my cat has just decided to join us. But yeah, so there is the stamping platform. These are the results we got, and I am really pleased with it. It is exactly what I was looking for and exactly what I thought it was going to be, and I'm really pleased with the results that it's given me. It means that I can reliably stamp again and again and again without making a mess, without having to scrap any projects, and it means that I get more reliable results. Oh, and something I didn't show you was on this lid there's actually a grid. Now it's not if I try and show you, yeah, you can see like that. It's not etched, it's kind of like a texture. Can you hear that? It's kind of like a texture. It's only on the you can see it through on the rubber side, but you can feel the texture on the clear side, and it just means that when you're doing a sentiment or something, or you're doing something with a flat edge, for example, you can line it up on there. But something I will show you later on in another YouTube, when I do a more in-depth sort of some technique videos on the stamping platform, you can print off, there's free printables available on the internet for a if you print it onto a sheet of printable acetate, it's basically a grid for you, so you can use that to line up your stamps. Because if I got this piece of acetate that's got the rest of the little Easter eggs that goes with those bunnies, I could put my piece of paper in here, put that over there. So say I was doing 2 separate sections to this sentiment, but I wanted them butt up closer than the actual acrylic would allow me. Then, so if I did it like that, then I could use a piece of acetate to line it up. And if I had a grid printed on there, it'd mean that I could check that it was straight as well before I picked it up on here. See, if I pick it up on there, I can't pick it up because I've got those eggs there. But if I pick it up on here, I can see with this texture grid that it's not straight. But if I had a piece of acetate here, then I can see straight away whether it's straight or not. So yeah, that is the Tim Holtz stamping platform. If you've got any questions, just post them below, and let me know if any of you have got the stamping platform, or if you've got any of the other ones. I've never actually seen them up close. I know that a lot of people are really happy with them. It just wasn't what I was looking for. I was really glad that that I saw the video for this when I did, because I would have bought the Misty, and after seeing this I don't think I would have been happy with it. But it's one of those things where you don't really know that there's something more suited to your needs until you see it. I'm sure I would have got on with it, but I'm really, really happy that I got this instead. Okay, so that's the stamping platform by Tim Holtz and Tonic Studios, and I am saying goodbye.